Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there lived an elderly woman. She was very old, with silvery hair and a face marked by soft, kind wrinkles. Her eyes, however, were bright and warm, filled with compassion. Everyone in the village admired her because she remained cheerful even when life was difficult. She lived by herself in a small home near a large banyan tree. She had no children, and her husband had passed away long ago. Still, she never complained about her life. Each day she would sit beneath the banyan tree, talk kindly to villagers, and greet everyone with a gentle smile. Life in the village was not easy. Some people worked in the fields, others were carpenters, and some earned their living in the small marketplace. There were times when rain did not fall, crops failed, and families struggled. Illness also kept many from working. Because of this, worry and sadness often filled people's hearts. One day, a young woman named Radha came to visit the old lady. Tears streamed down Radha's face as she spoke. "I don't know what to do," she said. "My husband has gone to the city to find work, but he hasn't sent any money. My children are hungry, and I'm afraid." The old woman looked at Radha with kindness and smiled softly. "Sit here, my child," she said. "Tell me, what do you think will happen?" Radha wiped her tears and replied, "I don't know. I fear something bad will happen. What if my husband can't find work? What if he forgets us?" The old woman gently shook her head. "When we fill our minds with negative thoughts, our pain grows. But when we think positively, our hearts feel lighter and good things sometimes follow." Radha asked sadly, "But how can I think positively when everything seems so wrong?" The old woman smiled again. "Let me share a story with you." Radha listened carefully as the old woman began. "Once, there was a very poor man who had nothing, no food, no money, and no family. One day, he sat by a river crying. An old woman approached him and asked why he was so upset. The man said, 'I have nothing. How can I ever be happy?' The woman smiled and said, 'You have the river, the trees, and the sun above you. Look around. Life and beauty are everywhere. If you only focus on what you lack, sadness will follow you. But if you appreciate what you already have, peace will enter your heart.'" The man listened carefully. Slowly he stopped crying and began to notice the good around him. From that day on, his life started to improve. The old woman then looked at Radha and said, "The man's life did not change because of magic. It changed because his thinking changed. When we think positively, we gain strength to face our troubles." Radha thought for a moment and asked, "Can my thoughts really change my life?" "Yes," the old woman replied gently. "If you wake up each morning and say, 'Today will be a good day,' you will find the courage to care for your children and wait for your husband with hope. But if you focus only on fear, your heart will grow weak." Radha nodded slowly. "I understand. I will try to think positively from now on." "That is the first step, my child," the old woman said. Radha left the house feeling lighter. Each day she remembered the old woman's words. Every morning she told herself, "Today will be a good day." She worked hard, cared for her children, and prayed for her husband. A few weeks later, Radha received a letter. Her husband had found a job in the city and was sending money home. Filled with joy, Radha ran to the old woman to share the good news. The old woman smiled and said, "You see, my dear, positive thinking invites good into our lives. Problems will always exist, but with hope and faith, we can overcome them." Soon, word of the old woman's wisdom spread throughout the village. Many people came to her with their worries. She gave them all the same advice, to think positively. The villagers loved her even more, for her words had helped change their lives. She taught them a simple but powerful lesson: the strength of positive thinking.